So coming up this weekend at Investors Group Athletics Center, the women's volleyball team continues their playoff push, and head coach Ken Bentley is sitting right next to me. He's the head coach of the women's team. And Ken, before we get into that, you got a bit of a birthday celebration coming up over the weekend, but the thing is, you're not going to have much time to celebrate. Game time's at 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. How does that affect kind of your day-to-day game day preparation?
The Saturday-Sunday start is a challenge for sure, especially at this point of the year because we've been on the road so much in January. We don't normally play at 1 o'clock, but it's, Regina's in the same boat, and that's just the way it goes. So at this point, there should be no excuse for a lack of performance, obviously. But we've got to get there much earlier. We do a pregame lift before we play every match, so it just means an earlier start to the day, and that's just the way it goes. But yeah, it's a pretty critical weekend for us, and there's just not a lot of room for error at this point of the year.
And now, do you look at your schedule as much as you go kind of game by game here? You have 2 against Regina, but then you have Alberta, who's near the top of the standings, and then you've got Saskatchewan, who has at least at this point a 3-13 record. So is it something that you kind of look at the schedule and say, okay, if we play like I know we can play, we're in a pretty good spot here?
Yeah, our schedule's good. The last little bit. Alberta lost to Calgary 2 weekends ago. They split there. They split with Brandon. And so that's just the way the league's gone. There have been a lot of splits like that in a lot of matches. It's far from routine, that's for sure. So obviously as a coach, you're extra careful in your preparation. So we just can't afford any slips right now, that's for sure. And but if we play well on our side, we should be fine and look to some wins as we close it up. And I think either way, we're bound to travel. Mathematically, we're not in a position to host, which was our original goal, obviously. I think it's any team's goal to host the first round, right? Because going on the road again is just a bigger challenge, but that's just the way it is for now. So our focus now is just trying to continue to play better volleyball, and like I said earlier, I'm happy with our team and where we're going, and we're very close. We're playing good volleyball. We're playing very determined volleyball. So I'm certainly optimistic.
And last question, you mentioned playing determined volleyball. Your team has had a tough January, like you mentioned. You've been in a lot of matches, but just couldn't get those points right when you needed. What's kind of the little thing that's going to put you guys over the top when it comes to these critical weekend series, like we mentioned against Regina, Alberta, Saskatchewan? Well,
converting a match point would probably be a good start. We had 4 on Friday against Mount Royal and couldn't get it done. And I mean, one of them, I was getting out of my chair. I thought we'd won, and Taylor hit a ball down the line. This kid got a knuckle on. I don't know how she got it, and eventually they won that rally. And that was it. We had that match won. So that's the kind of, just the way it's gone for us this year in some of those matches. And the early points, we need to be better early in the 5th set. We fell behind both nights. And at this point, when you win, you're going to win in 4 or 5. 3-0 is really difficult against any team in rally point when they're evenly matched. That's just, it's 5 or 7 minutes determines the direction of a set. So you really have to be on it constantly. And so mentally and emotionally, we need to make sure we're staying at every point. And if we can be a little bit better in that area, I think we'll see more of those match points go our way. So that's our focus right now.
That's Ken Bentley, the head coach of the women's volleyball team over at the University of Manitoba. They play at 1 p.m. Saturday and Sunday this weekend. To see the rest of their schedule, go Bisons.ca is the place to go. For Shaw TV, I'm Mitchell Clinton.